Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Tuesday, August 8th, 2023. Today, we are going to recap yesterday's MLB, the FIFA games from this morning, other soccer, WNBA. We will look ahead to everything tonight. We have a future bet for the portfolio, the results from the Cup Series race that resumed yesterday, news and notes, and best bet. We'll start with baseball. We've been starting with baseball all summer long. We will go over the results, and we look ahead to the slate for today. Dodgers over the Padres 13-7, Reds over the Marlins 5-2, Twins over the Tigers 9-3, Pirates over the Braves 7-6. So that's a bad loss for the Braves. Mets over the Cubs 11-2. Can't believe I'm saying this, a bad loss for the Cubs, because the Mets get the big run number. Red Sox over the Royals 6-2, Jays over the Guardians 3-1, White Sox over the Yankees 5-1, Brewers over the Rockies 12-1. So best bet, the Brewers did it by themselves. Giants over the Angels 8-3, and the Rangers over the A's 5-3. I was about to say Rogers, I don't know why. The Nats Phillies postponed. Makeup date will be today. There will be a doubleheader, and that is the first game of the day. Game 1, Nats Phillies, so it's a standalone single admission doubleheader. Trevor Williams, Zach Wheeler. That would have been the pitching matchup yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. So the Phils are trying to get that last wild card spot. Nats are out of it. Phils minus 290, Nats plus 235, over under 8.5, overs minus 118, unders minus 104. Nats plus 1.5 is plus 112, Phillies minus 1.5 is minus 134. I'm going to probably go with the under, 8.5. 6:30 Marlins Reds, Braxton Garrett and Luke Weaver. Marlins minus 144, Reds plus 122, over under 10, overs minus 105, unders minus 115. Marlins minus 1.5 is plus 114, Reds plus 1.5 is minus 137. I like the over here only because Luke Weaver's been so bad this year. He's been one of the worst starters the pitchers in baseball. Twins Tigers, Sonny Gray and Eduardo Rodriguez. Twins minus 118, Tigers even money, over under 7.5, overs minus 118, unders minus 104. Twins minus 1.5 is plus 142, Tigers plus 1.5 is minus 172. I'm going to lay it with the Twins on the money line at minus 118. Cardinals Rays, Miles Mikolas and Zach Eflin. Rays minus 184, Cardinals plus 154, over under 8.5. Overs minus 104, unders minus 118. Cards plus 1.5 is minus 138. Rays minus 1.5 is plus 115. For this one, I'm going to go with over 4.5 Rays runs at minus 113. They should hit around the Mikolas. On TBS, a big one, Astros Orioles. Framber Valdez, Grayson Rodriguez. Dusty Baker took a shot at the O's and said it's their biggest series in a while, but he is right. The Astros are favored minus 130. The O's are plus 110, over under 8. Overs minus 115, unders minus 105. Astros minus 1.5 is plus 3. O's plus 1.5 is minus 156. A theme of this year is the established team against the up-and-coming team. The established team has kicked the up-and-coming team's asses. You saw it with the Dodgers against the O's. We saw it with the Braves a little bit against the Cubs, but the Cubs kind of broke that trend a little bit and won the last two of that series over the weekend. So, for this one, I'm going to go with the over, because I think the Astros are going to score a lot of runs. Braves Pirates, Yanni Chirinos and Mitch Keller. Braves minus 168, Pittsburgh plus 142, over under 10, overs minus 102, unders minus 120. Braves minus 1.5 is minus 104, Pirates plus 1.5 is minus 115. This is an interesting one that I am going to go with. I'm going to go over 4.5 Pirate runs at plus 112, only because I just don't like Yanni Chirinos. I don't think he's any good. Doubleheader game 2, the makeup game, Nats Phils. Josiah Gray and Ranger Suarez. Phil's minus 215, Nats plus 180, over under 9, overs minus 120, unders minus 102. Nats plus 1.5 is minus 118, Phil's minus 1.5 is minus 102. For this one, I'm going to go with the Nats on the run line, plus 1.5 and minus 118. Josiah Gray's been solid for the Nats this year. Cubs Mets, Jameson Taillon and Carlos Carrasco. Cubs minus 134, Mets plus 114, over under 9.5. Over is even money, unders minus 122. Cubs minus 1.5 is plus 115, Mets plus 1.5 is minus 138. Full game over, even money. Love it. Royals, Red Sox, Brady Singer and Cutter Crawford. Red Sox minus 184, Royals plus 154, over under 10. Over is even money, unders minus 122. Royals plus 1.5 is minus 130, Red Sox minus 1.5 is plus 108. I'm doing the same thing, over 10, even money. Blue Jays, Guardians, Yusei Kikuchi and Tanner Bibe. Jays minus 130, Guardians plus 110, over under 8. Overs minus 112, unders minus 108. Jays minus 1.5 is plus 138. Guardians plus 1.5 is minus 154. We'll go with the Guardians plus 110. That's my favorite underdog on the board. The Blue Jays, I know Kikuchi's been pretty good this year, but Bibe's been better by a lot of statistics. 8 o'clock, Yanks, White Sox. Clark Schmidt and Touki Toussaint. Yanks minus 162, White Sox plus 138, over under 9, overs minus 115, unders minus 105. Yanks minus 1.5 is plus 106, White Sox plus 1.5 is minus 128. I'm going to go with the under. I went over yesterday. I was wrong. Yankees didn't score any runs. I'm going to go under here based on the same trend. And maybe the White Sox won't score as many as they did yesterday. Rockies, Brewers, Kyle Freeland and Wade Miley. Brewers minus 215. Rockies plus 180, over under 8.5. Overs minus 114, unders minus 106. Rocks plus 1.5 is minus 118. Brewers minus 1.5 is minus 102. I like the under, although I like the over in this matchup yesterday, but today I'm going to go under. Won't touch it for best bet, though. 9:30, Giants, Angels. Scott Alexander and Lucas Giolito. Angels minus 116, Giants minus 102, over under 9, overs even money, unders minus 122. Giants minus 1.5 is plus 152, Angels plus 1.5 is minus 184. Giants favor on the run line, Angels favor on the money line. I'm taking the Giants at minus 102. Scott Alexander's been better than Lucas Giolito has this season. Dodgers, D-backs, Julio Urias and Brandon F. Dodgers minus 158, D-backs plus 134, over under 9, overs minus 115, unders minus 105. Dodgers minus 1.5 is plus 105, D-backs plus 1.5 is minus 126. I like the over. Padres, Mariners, Nick Martinez and Logan Gilbert. Mariners minus 120, Padres plus 102, over under 8.5, minus 110 each way. Padres plus 1.5 is minus 194, Mariners minus 1.5 is plus 160. Oh, this is a difficult one. For this one, I'm going to go with under 3.5 Padre runs at plus 120. Banking on Logan Gilbert tonight. And then Rangers, A's, last but not least. Max Scherzer in his second start as a Ranger against J.P. Sears. Rangers minus 260, A's plus 215, over under 7.5. Overs minus 115, unders minus 105. Rangers minus 1.5 is minus 152. A's plus 1.5 is plus 126. Tough one. The under would be very interesting. But I might go with a different under. We'll go under 2.5 A's runs at minus 102, amazingly enough. I think this is a throwback performance coming up for Mr. Max Scherzer. All right, now we'll do FIFA. We'll go over the results from this morning, look ahead to today, or tonight, overnight, if there is any. All right, so round of 16 concludes Colombia over Jamaica 1-0, France over Morocco 4-0. Quarterfinals will start Thursday night at 9 o'clock. So preview and pick Spain, Netherlands on the Thursday podcast. The lone Colombia goal was scored by Catalina Uzme in the 51st minute, and then the France goals were scored by Gadidiadu Diani in the 15th minute, Kenza Dali in the 20th minute. Eugene Lassammer scored twice, once in the 23rd minute and once in the 70th minute. So FIFA resumes Thursday night, as the quarterfinals will get underway. All right, now we'll do other soccer. We will start with the Leagues Cup, which we had interesting results for sure. 2 games because one got postponed. So Querétaro and New England 1-1 draw, but Querétaro advances 4-3 on penalties. That's a pretty big upset. And then Querétaro will play either the Union or the Red Bull. So the winner of tonight's Red Bulls Union game will play Querétaro. And then Charlotte over Houston 2-1. So that was a pretty big upset. And then Charlotte will play the winner of, I want to say, America Nashville. But let's double check that. No. Charlotte would actually play the winner of so they're going to play Miami. So Charlotte's playing Messi. So that makes sense. And then Charlotte Miami winner would play Querétaro, Red Bulls, or the Union. So it's going to be an interesting couple of days coming up. All right, so loaded slate tonight. We'll start with the game that should have been played last night, but weather postponed it to tonight. The Philadelphia Union are hosting the New York Red Bulls. Great game. I'm excited for this one. Obviously, the winner plays Querétaro. And the funny thing is that the Union already played Querétaro, and they beat them in group play. So that's that in terms of interesting subplots. I just am quickly pulling up the Leagues Cup. Here we go. So the Union are now plus 125. The Red Bulls are 2-1, and plus 210 is the draw. I'm taking the Union at home, plus 125. Yesterday when I did this, they were minus 125. So what changed that from a minus to a plus is very interesting. I think the Union at home has some value. They've been in a lot of big games over the past 9 months or so. So I really do like them at home at plus, or really 10 months. If we're dating back to the beginning of the postseason last year. So I'm going to go with the Union at home, plus 125. The Red Bulls have been disappointing for most of the year this year in the MLS. So Toluca, Minnesota. So that's the Central. Minnesota came in second in the Central, and Toluca won Central 4. Toluca's plus 160, Minnesota's plus 130, the draw's plus 260. I like Minnesota at plus 130 as they are technically at home, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, they are. All right, America and Nashville, this is Central. So Nashville won Central 4, or came in second, my mistake. And then America came in second and Central 1. America plus 140, Nashville plus 155. The draw is plus 250. I don't have either of these teams going far. And America's favored, and the game's being played in Nashville at Geodis Park. I'm going to say Nashville plus 155. Tigres and Monterrey. This game is being played in Houston. This is a good one. Tigres plus 150. The Monterrey's plus 190. The draw is plus 190. I love Tigres. They're playing well. They're my pick to win the tournament. So I'm going to say Tigres plus 150. And then 10:30 LAFC in Salt Lake from Los Angeles. So the lone team remaining with the bye as Pachuca got eliminated, as LAFC will be playing Salt Lake. LAFC's minus 130, Salt Lake's plus 270. The draw is 3-1. I'm going to go over 3.5 goals at plus 122. All right, we also have the Trofeo Joan Gamper today between Barcelona and Tottenham, which is going to be interesting. Barcelona minus 280, Tottenham plus 550. The draw is plus 390. Barcelona's a big favorite, and rightfully so. I'm going over 3.5 goals at plus 110. And then the Carabao Cup, that begins today. We have a lot of games. It's the English League Championship, which I started to do my research on last night to do the season podcast. As I would predict the standings. So 2 o'clock, you have Huddersfield and Borough. Huddersfield's plus 240, Middlesbrough plus 105. The draw is plus 240. I'm going to go with Huddersfield on. So Middlesbrough is a pretty big favorite. But I'm going to go with Huddersfield at home at plus 240. That's a pretty big upset. 2:30 at Mansfield and Grimsby Town. So not every team is in the EFL that's playing in this. So Mansfield minus 120, Grimsby's 3-1. The draw is plus 260. I'm going to go over 2.5 goals at minus 110. Newport and Charlton. Newport plus 230, Charlton plus 105, draw plus 240. I'm going Charlton plus 105. Peterborough and Swindon Town. Peterborough minus 185, Swindon plus 440. The draw is plus 330. The pick here will be under 2.5 goals plus 110. Swansea, Northampton. Swansea minus 185, Northampton plus 470. The draw is plus 310. Swansea's better than Northampton. For this one, I'm going to go under 2.5 goals at plus 102. 245, Accrington and Bradford. Accrington plus 160, Bradford's also plus 160. The draw's plus 220. I'm going to go with the draw plus 220. I like picking the draw when it's a pick 'em, essentially, from a straight-up standpoint or regulation. Bransley and Tranmere, and by the way, this is the first round. Bransley minus 10, Tranmere plus 500. The draw is plus 330. Under 2.5 goals, minus 106. Blackburn and Walsall. I can't find that one. Here we go. Blackburn minus 230, Walsall plus 550. The draw's plus 350. I'm going to go under 2.5 goals here, plus 112. Bolton and Barrow. Bolton minus 230, Barrow plus 550. The draw's plus 330. Same pick, under 2.5 goals, minus 108. I don't have time to pick the rest. I'm just going to go over the rest. So 245 is monstrous. Cheltenham, Birmingham, Derby, Blackpool, Exeter, Crawley Town, Forest Green, Portsmouth, Gillingham, Southampton, Harrogate, Carlisle, Hull, Doncaster, MK Dons and Wycombe, Millwall, Reading, Notts County, Lincoln City, Plymouth, Leighton Orient, Port Vale, Fleetwood Town, Preston, Salford City, Rotherham, Morecambe, Sheffield Wednesday, Stockport, Stevenage, Watford, Stoke West Brom, Sunderland Crew, Sutton United, Cambridge, and Wrexham, Wigan. And then there's a couple of more first round matches tomorrow. Okay. And that's pretty much it for the other soccer. Now we'll move on to the WNBA. We will look at the slate for tonight. I think it's like 2 games, maybe 3. Oh, it's a big one, 5. 3 o'clock NBA TV, you have the Sun and the Storm. The Sun are giving 7.5, totals 160.5. I'm going to lay the points with the Sun. 7 o'clock, you have the Sparks and the Fever. The Fever are giving 1.5, totals 158.5. I like the over, that's low. 8 o'clock, NBA TV, you have the Lynx and the Sky. The Sky are giving 3.5, totals 164.5. I'm going to lay the points with Chicago. They're coming along a little bit. CBS Sports Network, Aces and the Wings. The Aces are giving 8.5, totals 177.5. Bounce back spot for the Aces after getting blown out at the Liberty. I'm going to lay the points. And 10 o'clock on CBS Sports Network, you have the Mystics and the Mercury. The Mercury giving 2.5, totals 158.5. That's ridiculous. And now you know the Mystics have fallen under 500 without Elena Deladon, but the Mercury are going through problems himself. I know Grinder's back, but I'm going to go with the over. Okay, now we'll move on to the portfolio. I have a couple in consideration. I really want to look at some college football conference odds. So I want to look at the MAC real quick. There's a couple of teams that I feel have some value. Miami of Ohio is 7-1. Northern Illinois has a good offensive line. They're 11-1. But I also want to look at the American. And there's a couple of teams that stand out. Tulane's a favorite. Obviously, they were in a New Year's Six last year. But there's a few that stand out in that league. UTSA, I like their plus 470. The Big 12's very interesting. The team that I like the most from a value standpoint to win this league is 5-1 with their quarterback back, and they have a senior-laden offensive line. And there was a baseball one that I've been staring at for a while. I mentioned it on last week's show. Oh, it went up to plus 180. I would have loved to grab the Chicago Cubs on a number that would have been more valuable than that. Oh, well. Oh, my God. The Yankees win the AL East right now is 180-1. The Red Sox are 200-1. That's hysterical. And the Blue Jays are 12-1. Whoa. The Guardians are plus 850 in the AL Central. But yeah, I'm going to make my first college football future of the year. And I should say my first college football conference future, like a future on a team. They're 5-1 to win its conference. I'm only going to lay a small amount on it. I'm actually going to lay a half unit on it. Kansas State to win the Big 12 at 5-1. I like it a lot. Really good offensive line. Their quarterback, Will Howard's back. Good running back tandem. Good special teams. Senior-laden defense. And a good coach. So, 5-1 Kansas State to win the Big 12. All right, now I'm going to go over the results from yesterday's NASCAR race that was resumed after rain on Sunday in Michigan. Your winner of the race for the second consecutive week, Chris Buescher. Coming in second was Martin Truex Jr., third Denny Hamlin, fourth Brad Keselowski, fifth Kyle Larson, sixth Daniel Suarez, seventh Ross Chastain, eighth Kevin Harvick, ninth Ryan Blaney, 10th Eric Jones. The rest: Ty Gibbs, Austin Cindric, Chris Bell, Joey Logano, Corey LaJoie, Eric Almirola, Harrison Burton, Bubba Wallace, Allison Dillon, Ty Dillon, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., All right, so Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Ryan Preece, Justin Haley, Michael McDowell, Cole Custer, AJ Allmendinger, JJ Yealy, Austin Hill, Todd Gilliland, Tyler Reddick, Chase Briscoe, Josh Bilicki, Alex Bowman, Josh Berry, William Byron, Chase Elliott, and Kyle Busch. All right, now we'll go over the news and notes for today. So I don't know where to begin for news and notes. Let's start in baseball. So the White Sox have been in the news for all the wrong reasons. Kenyon Middleton, who's now with the Yankees, slams White Sox no-rules culture and says rookies slept in bullpen during games. And then Rick Hahn came out and says, no point this season were relievers sleeping in bullpens and made reports of no clues culture. So now it's a he said kind of situation, and they're acting like a team that has underperformed over the past couple of years. And I don't know who to decide with here, which is crazy. I don't know if Middleton's lying or Rick Hahn is just trying to hide embarrassment. And the opponent they're playing yesterday, and tomorrow, the New York Yankees, are dealing with issues of their own. Carlos Rodon on the injured list with a hamstring injury after exiting the game early on Sunday. I genuinely believe that they rushed him back to try to get back in the hunt for the wild card. And he was really bad other than that Mets game. And obviously it takes a while for a pitcher to come back from an injury. And now if he misses the rest of the season, he's going to be looked upon as again another Brian Cashman pitching acquisition bust. And let's face it, the only bust pitcher that Brian Cashman, actually no, there's two, maybe three. Yeah, three pitchers that Cashman signed that were not busts. Obviously Garrett Cole, CC Sabathia, and Masahiro Tanaka. So the most recent one, the only one that's worked out was Garrett Cole. And then Tanaka worked out. That's going to be 10 years this summer, or this winter. And then, obviously, CC Sabathia back in 2009. Those are the only 3 pitching free agent signings he had that worked out. Every other trade, free agent, bust. AJ Burnett, bust. Carl Pavano, bust. Kei Ugawa, bust. Sonny Gray, bust. James Paxton, bust. Carlos Rodon, maybe a bust down the road. Frankie Montas, big bust. And there's a reason why he might not have a job next year. And Aaron Boone got thrown out of the game last night as he does an impression of the umpire's strike 3 call. It was really funny to watch. And Aaron Boone's obviously frustrated with his team and everything and knows that he's probably not going to have a job next year with the Yankees. So he's doing everything he can, I feel like. But the biggest disaster in baseball right now is the Baltimore Orioles for non-baseball reasons. We'll get to that in a second. And then 3 White Sox players were called out. Yasmani Grandal, Yohan Moncada, and Eloy Jimenez all cited as contributing to negative team culture. So that was according to that pitcher, Kenyon Middleton. But yeah, that White Sox story, is terrible. And then it was reported that Yasmani Grandal slapped Tim Anderson in a fight, as Tim Anderson said, F him for starting his All-Star break early. Oh my God. Maybe this isn't according to Kenyon Middleton, this part of it. And then Grandal denies the Anderson report, as the White Sox catcher says report he slapped Tim Anderson in pre-All-Star break incident is unreal. So maybe Middleton's just trying to make the White Sox look bad. And we always say there's always multiple sides to a story. And then the White Sox, obviously, Tim Anderson got suspended 6 games. Jose Ramirez, 3. There's a coach that got 1. The closer on the Guardians, Clase, got suspended 2. And then Jose Ramirez says that Tim Anderson won't respond. As he said, he reached out to Tim Anderson to apologize after the fight, but has not received an answer. Yikes. Tim Anderson's just immature. Very immature player. And then the Guardians added Ramon Laureano from the Athletics off of waivers. I had no idea he was on waivers. How I mentioned that the Orioles are the biggest disaster off the field right now from a media standpoint is that it was reported that broadcaster Kevin Brown was suspended because the owner, John Angelos, didn't like his quote-unquote remarks about the team's losses in Tampa in the past. And he's been off the air since July 30th. And then the Orioles go out and deny it. They're obviously freaking lying. The Orioles are liars. And I've been very pro-Orioles on this podcast all year long. But right now I'm going to destroy them because what they're doing to Kevin Brown is disgusting. And he should not have been suspended for something he said that was true. And it's just insane. And ESPN New York's and Yes's Michael Kay slammed Baltimore Orioles ownership for this. And he's right. Gary Cohen slammed Orioles ownership. He's right too. They are probably the best 2 play-by-play announcers in baseball right now, Michael Kay and Gary Cohen. But yeah, so before a game against the Rays on July 23rd, Brown noted that the O's hadn't won as many games in Tropicana Field in 2023 as they had in the past 3 years combined, which was a graphic showing the Orioles' struggles there accompanied Brown's commentary. And then the O's ownership took issue with the comment, and he has not appeared on MASN broadcast since. And then the Orioles turn it down, obviously lying. They say, we don't comment on personal matters, and we look forward to hearing Kevin's voice soon. But that is just awful what the O's did. And Michael Kay made some comment about why didn't production get suspended too by the Orioles if you're only going to suspend the broadcaster, which is awful. Nobody should have been suspended, I feel like, because what he said was true. And apparently John Angelos don't like that. And I know John Angelos is not a good owner. I know his team's doing really good this year, but he gets in the way of things. Like, James Dolan might be the best owner in New York sports right now, amazingly enough, because he stayed out of Knicks and Rangers stuff, and they're having some success and result of it. And I know the Rangers were a mess in the playoffs against the Devils, but that was not because of the owner doing dumb things. But Angelos's antics kind of remind me of what James Dolan used to do with the Knicks. And this is just really bad. And hopefully Kevin Brown is back sooner rather than later. And he's really good at his job. He's really good at his job. And I just feel that the O's just did something pathetic there. And that had to be addressed on the podcast. Because I cover media on the show too. And then we talked about Dusty Baker taking the shot at the O's and saying Baltimore's biggest in a while when they were at the White House with the president. And then the Guardians A-ball team is letting fans name Tim sit on grass for free, hosting a punch-out competition and more. That is so funny. The Mets sent down Brett Beatty after slashing 216, 289, 331. Not great for the Mets. Meanwhile, I think that's a bad decision. That could ruin a player's confidence. We'll go to NFL now. Patrick Mahomes, of course, named the number one player on the NFL Network's top 100 list, beating out Justin Jefferson and Joe Burrow, among others. So good for Patrick Mahomes. Well-deserved. I think it's stupid if he didn't get it. Odell Beckham made a very bold, but I think crazy statement. He says he believes he would have had 15 catches, 250 yards against the Bengals if he didn't tear his ACL in the second quarter. He was really good in that game until he tore his ACL. And maybe he would have had a big game, but I don't think he would have had 250 yards. He's just not that good anymore. And maybe the Giants were right to trade him at the time. Well, they actually were because they got Dexter Lawrence out of it. And Dexter Lawrence just got paid by the Giants. Chiefs general manager says that the team won't trade Chris Jones and says that he deserves a big contract and to retire with the team. He's right. I agree with that. The Lions signed Teddy Bridgewater after a recent visit, so that's a nice backup option there. Rams signed John Johnson as he's returning to the team on a one-year deal. C.J. Stroud will start the preseason opener on Thursday night against the Patriots, so that's exciting. Texas offensive tackle Titus Howard breaks his hand and will be out indefinitely, so that is a loss for the Texans. He's their best lineman. And college news, the ACC is looking into Stanford and Cal as the conference is to begin exploratory discussions on additions of the Pac-12 schools. Holy crap. Like what? Is Oregon State and Wazoo going to combine and go to the Mountain West? Well, that's really funny because there's a lot of Mountain West teams better than Oregon State, and Wazoo sometimes is as bad as your average Mountain West school. So, yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see if the ACC will go a little bit of West Coast now, too. So they're going to be like universal conferences all of a sudden. All right, WNBA story that is kind of back in the news. Liz Cambridge says that she did not use a racial slur towards Nigerian team ahead of the 2021 Olympics. So she denies it. Of course, she denies it. Maybe she didn't say it. Maybe she did. The Nigerian team came out and said she did, but Cambridge is denying it. But like I said, there's always two sides of the story. Scoot Henderson's very confident that he will win the Rookie of the Year. So that's cool for his confidence. Stephen Curry was at a Paramore concert last night as he showed off his range at the concert. That was pretty cool to see. So Johnny Gaudreau and Brady Tkachuk had a great time at Kevin Hayes' wedding, as that video is going around Instagram. And Charlie McAvoy got married too, and Brad Marchand and Patrice Bergeron stole the show there. All right, last but not least, my best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. There was a pick that stood out. And it was in baseball. It was a total between two teams that put up a lot of runs last night. And that is the Cubs and the Mets. I'm going over 9.5, even money, laying a half unit on it. A quarter unit on it. Over 9.5, Cubs, Mets, even money, quarter unit. So there you have it for the show. I'll be back tomorrow with the regular show, recapping everything and looking ahead to everything going on tomorrow. And tomorrow's show will be 1,700 podcasts since taking this to the Anchor, now known as Spotify Podcasters platform. And tonight I'll be doing two soccer shows, the English League Championship and the Premier League preview show. So stay tuned for those two shows. Hope you have a great day, everybody.